everybody, welcome back to Diary of My Dragon. Nice to see you all. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm heading down to go and get Rue. I'm going to bring her in for a ride. But as you can tell from the title of this video, we have had a not so brilliant diagnosis, and I'll go through all of that when I grab her. But as you can tell, she is still being ridden, so that's a positive. But we've had a diagnosis, a treatment plan, a rehab plan, and I'm just keeping everything crossed at the moment. Right, let's go and get her. Actually have to stop off quick to feed Parker. Hey buddy! Here we have a naked and marginally irritated by flies Ruby. I need to get her groomed and ready a moment. I'm going to check her feet a minute and see if I can show you her funky shoes before. No, they need picking out. Good girl. And then I can show you her funky shoes before I explain to you what's going on. So this is Ruby's picked out hoof, and as you can see, she's now got a plastic pad on there, and underneath the plastic pad she's got something called magic cushion, and this is all part of her remedial farrier to help her feet out and keep her comfortable. So let's pop that down. Good girl. And she's got those in both of her fronts, and again I will explain why. Right, a groomed Ruby, still quite dusty. I'm going to give her a bath when we get back. Rubes, are you ready? Pretty girl, ready to go. Should we get going, Rubes? Then we can tell everyone about your poorly hoofies. Talking done whilst we're in the quiet lane, although you can guarantee all the cars will come past. So about 4 weeks ago I took Ruby out on a hack. I'd show jumped the weekend before, as you guys had seen on the channel. I went out with Hannah, met with packs, and Rue had the best time. Anyway, took her out for a hack a few days later, and turned her, she was her usual bouncy, keen self, turned her tightly up a junction and went, ooh, that wasn't right. So walked her back home, and I mean she was buzzing. Got back and I turned her tightly on a circle at home, and she was hobbly. She wasn't like obviously lame, but she wasn't right. Anyway, so I kind of trusted my gut and went, do you know what, let's have a lameness workup, let's just see what's going on here. So the vet came out the next day, which was amazing. My vet's amazing, she's a star. And she gave Ruby a lameness workup, and I was like, I've been riding this horse in the school and I think she's fine, but is she going to come and tell me she's hopping lame? Because that was my big worry. Anyway, she came totally sound on a surface, and then on the hard ground she was sound in walk and trot on a straight line, but she was 4/10 lame to the right on the hard ground on a very tight circle, and 2/10 to the left. And that was also showing up on the lunge and trot on the hard ground as well, which I think is a bit harsh, but I'm not sure how many horses would trot up sound on a really hard surface on a tight circle. Anyway, that was that. So she was then due to come out on the Monday for x-rays to really see what was going on. So Monday came, meant to come at 10 o'clock, didn't come till 5, but that's by the by. X-rays were done. And oh, my arm was hurting. How do people chat for this long with their phone up? Anyway, x-rays were done, and unfortunately Ruby has been diagnosed with navicular syndrome. So navicular syndrome affects the navicular bone in the hoof. So she has it's basically degeneration and inflammation of the navicular bone and the surrounding soft tissues. So Ruby has very slight degeneration in her left, it's usually bilateral, and a fair bit worse in her right. The vet has very much reassured me it's early days, it's definitely not the worst case that she's ever seen, which is really good. But it's there, and that's what's causing the lameness. So the same day Ruby had steroid injections, she had 24 hours in the stable, and then the vet asked me to ride her again, which I was quite surprised about. I didn't think she'd be allowed to be ridden straight away. I thought it would be rest, but she kind of said horses don't recover from navicular. They don't recover. It's all about maintenance, keeping them comfortable, and actually 20 years ago, navicular was the kiss of death for them, whereas now, you know, we can keep them comfortable enough, and if they're happy in their work, they can keep going, and actually exercise is the best thing for it. Combined with the steroid injections, she's also having remedial farriery, which we'd started already anyway because I was worrying about her with the hard ground as it was. So she has those plastic pads and she has the cushioning, and combined with that, we're hoping that's going to help her. So we're on week 3 now of walking out. She's not allowed to trot on the roads anymore, just walking, which, as in true Ruby fashion, she's fuming about. But yeah, we need to commence the treatment plan. So the other really surprising thing is the vet is confident that if the steroid injections work for her, she'll come back sound enough, she'll be allowed to jump on a surface. And again, it's very much everything that Ruby tells me. I know this mare inside out. If she wasn't happy to be ridden, she would buck me off into the sun. She's very sensitive, as you can tell by all the spooking. She's very sensitive. She's not backwards and coming forward. She would tell me if she was uncomfortable. And she's still loving her work. You guys saw what she was like at Pendarvis. So I'm hoping that if the steroid injections are working, which I think they are, there has been an improvement, but I'm not going to get my hopes up, that she will continue in her usual work, which is what the vet is confident she's going to be able to do, which is amazing. So we're on week 3 of walking out. She's allowed to do some very light schooling, walk, trot, canter now, and about 30-minute hacks in walk. At the 6-week point, the vet is coming back out to review her, by which time she needs to be in full work, so the vet can see how she's coping with that, and then she'll give me the green light to continue, hopefully. But yeah, that's Rue and her navicular. Woohoo! Mind the drink, mind the drink, mind the drink. Good girl. Anyway, so that is the diagnosis, the treatment plan. I am not meant to be turning her tightly to check if she's lame or not. The vet wants to do that after 6 weeks. I'm finding that very hard. I have tried a few times, and she kind of said not to expect an improvement in the first fortnight. I think there has been an improvement. I do think she's better, she's less hobbly. But again, I'm not sure how much is going to be pain memory, or I don't know. So I'm just trying not to check that much and just going with what she's telling me, and as you can tell, she's so happy to be out. She loves it. She loves doing it. I took her back in the school the other day and she was like, yes! She was so happy. So I'm just going to keep following her lead, really. So if the steroid injections haven't worked, there are a few other options for treatment. One is called Ophos and something, which I think is a different injection. And then the next option will be to send her up to Devon for an MRI scan. Now, I've outright said she will not be doing that. She's not going to hospital. She's such an anxious mare. It just wouldn't be fair on her. Some sea fuel, sea view. Doobie-doobie-doo. Girly. We find this track a little bit scary. We've met a few unruly dogs down here, so she's not particularly keen. She's being a very good girl. So we have to do a lot of road hacking around here. A lot of the tracks are a lot further away. So unfortunately that does mean sticking to walk for a lot longer than maybe we would like. But that's okay, she won't be allowed to trot on the roads really from now on, so good girl. All about keeping her happy. Wait, check that way, go! Good girl. We are super lucky though that despite doing lots of road work, the cars are pretty respectful. We do get a lot of big traffic around here, but Ruby is totally bomb-proof in traffic. It's more the other things around that freak her out. But she is so good in traffic. Good girlie. Yeah, so as I was saying, she won't be going up to Bristol. Well, I think it's Bristol. I think it's Western Counties. I'm not really sure. but she won't be going up there. She's too anxious. It's not fair on her. I just couldn't put her through that. She's an older lady. She doesn't deserve that stress at all. So my hope is that we'll be able to manage her from home. And equally, if I send her for an MRI scan, the outcome isn't going to be any different. She's still going to have navicular. So there's no real reason for sending her up for that scan. Scary apples. Oh my goodness. Horse eating apples. Good girl, actually. In fairness, I think it was the flappy plastic bags. That was still dramatic though, Rue. Good girl. Good girl. We've just passed a bus and the scary green traffic stuff. Roadwork stuff. I've got one brain cell after having a baby, honestly. Yeah, she was really good. Anyway, so we're kind of hoping that injection treatment's going to work and then she'll be able to continue as she is for a few more years to come. I'd feel far happier retiring her at 19, 20 than I would now at 17 and a half. I think she's got a couple more years of having fun in her. She's still loving her jumping, she's still loving working, you know, and she becomes dangerous when she's not in work. I've talked about it a bit on the channel, you know, when I was pregnant, she became really hard work to handle. So I just want to keep her happy and comfortable in work for as long as I possibly can, because she just, I look at this girl, she just loves doing it and loves being out. I'm also aware that I need to drop a couple of stone, so I'm going to start working really hard, and I know that having less weight on me will also help her to feel more comfortable. So yeah, boot camp for me and rehab for Rue. But yes, please keep everything crossed for us, guys. We will, I'm sure I'll let you know about the review, and keep an eye on my Instagram, which is also Diary of My Dragon, if you're not following me on there. I'll have regular updates of Rue's progress. So we are heading back down the lane now, back home. I'm riding her on the buckle, well, pretty much, which is really nice, and she's still as happy as ever. She's so good, she doesn't really speed up on the way home, she's much the same, she's just happy to be out all the way around, to be honest. But I'm going to get her back, give her a little bath because she's gross, put her fly mask on. She currently doesn't have a fly rug because she absolutely trashed it the other day. So it will be just a mask today. Hopefully if I can give her a little bath, she'll be feeling much better. Right, let's get her home. So Rubes is actually surprisingly sweaty after that ride. Surprisingly sweaty, aren't you? So I've just put some bio oil. This is Leovet stuff. I just put it on some of the rubs on her head where she's itching because of the flies. And then I'm going to give her a lavender wash today. I actually own pretty much all of the NAF shampoos. I also really like the Alchemist Garden bubble gum, but I haven't got any more of that at the moment. So it's a NAF lavender wash today. Quick wash off and then out to the field for some breakfast, although now I think it's light lunch. Out, masked and breakfast. I really didn't think the flies would be bad today because it's so windy, but clearly they are. Right, be good, Rue. I'm just going to go and top your water up. So a huge thank you for joining me to listen to me ramble on about Ruby's condition. Solidarity to all of those of you out there with horses with navicular. It is hard going. It's an emotional roller coaster, but I know that Ruby's not ready to retire yet. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll hopefully see you all soon again. Cheers and gone. Bye.